you mentioned that you don't think it's going to be a great year. It would take, let's just say this. I don't think that's being negative, by the way. If unless you believe that the 49ers are on the verge, and you know me, I'm a dreamer of an all-time draft, like one of the greatest drafts in the history of drafting.
1986.
Even better than that. They had 8 starters.
Yeah.
They're gonna need that times 2 almost.
Yeah.
They're gonna need like 12 starters out of this thing.
Yeah, and like 6 day one starters.
Yeah, all kinds of
guys.
But they have a bunch of picks, and it is a very deep draft. Why? You know, I saw Todd McShay pod on this a couple weeks ago. He says that this year and next year are stacked drafts because of COVID and NIL. The NIL, he says, has created the logjam, and that these next 2 drafts are going to be really, really fat, 25 and 26. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, we'll see what maybe is a great draft to have a bunch of picks in. But let's just say they do go super young and they have a great draft, but it's still not good enough. And as you said, it's, you know, they're either not in it or barely in it. Do they trade a veteran at the trade deadline? And if so, which one?
That's so interesting. To me, they should be considering trading Christian McCaffrey, because running backs fall apart quickly, and he may have fallen apart already. So if he's having a good year, but they're not competitive, like, why don't you get something for Christian McCaffrey before he turns 30? Because, you know, running backs turn into pumpkins pretty quickly, to use my Cinderella terminology here. Him, Bosa, I mean, he's getting $34 million a year to have put up Leonard Floyd numbers. Sorry. Those two. And then George. I love George Kittle, all-time great player. But this whole thing, like, so-and-so deserves to retire a 49er, I don't understand that concept. Joe Montana didn't retire a 49er. Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Tom Rathman. It's a business, man. It's not a freaking family. So if they can get something really good for a 32-year-old tight end, you got to consider it.
I think it's CMC is the guy that they would, one, because I think that it's reasonable to think that he could be good, and they could still be a ways away. And he's a running back. You know, there's only so much tread on the tires, and people see how great he is, and he gets off to a hot start, but they don't get off to a hot start. And they drew draft a Quinshon Judkins or RJ Harvey, and these guys look really, really good. But you also have, you know, CMC, you know, because this might be the kind of draft where you draft a couple running backs. So I could see CMC. Now, I don't know where he would go. It would kind of.
But if you really do give Purdy the extension, then eventually you got to move on from the older core that's 31, 32, because your new core is Brock, 25, Lenore, and people that age.
No question. And you know what? The true answer to this question is probably going to be whoever's willing to take the hometown discount is probably going to stick. And whoever's not willing to take the hometown discount is probably either not be cut or traded.
Why did the Niners keep Armstead over Buckner? Because Armstead was cheaper.
Right. Armstead. And they had reasonable and they also was Armstead and Ward, but they also had reason to believe that Armstead would, in future contracts, want to cut him a deal because he was from Sacramento and he had local ties and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And the irony of that is when they were done with him, you know, they kicked him out and he had to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's true.
You know, that's just kind of reality.